Hey, how are you guys? It is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. Now, in this video, I am going to talk about what is holding you back from your sales and your marketing. I have talked to tons of my students, my coaching students, about what is holding them back, and consistently, I see the exact same problem every single time. So I'm going to break that down as to what is stopping you from getting to that next level, and I promise you, the answer is going to surprise you. Before I get into that, I do want to mention two quick things. Number one, I do have a masterclass. It is down in the links below. What I teach in that masterclass, I don't teach anywhere, and I have no plans of teaching it on YouTube. So if you're like, hey, I want to get a little bit more, there's a link down below. It's usually the first link for that masterclass. Second thing is, I am going to be doing some kind of giveaway between now and Christmas. I haven't quite figured exactly out what it's going to be, but it is going to be an insane value for you to use however you choose to use it. I'm debating, and if you want to, leave a comment down below. Either a full video setup, a kind of podcast type setup that I have at my home office, or a sales essentials bag, something that you could throw, grab with you, and go to a client meeting and crush it in that meeting. Because believe it or not, you should have a couple tools, that video coming soon, that you will need every single sale. And if you don't have it, or you're going in with just this little device, you are missing out on serious money. So let's get into today's video about what you are probably doing wrong. Now, many of you guys have tried just about everything when it comes to your sales and your marketing. Now, this same thing is holding you back from both. Many of you have tried cold calling, you have tried social media, you have tried YouTube videos, and the list consistently goes on and on. Now, we've talked about different ways that you can make sales pretty quickly. Cold calling, cold outreach is your two fastest. They are the fastest you can do an action today and have success tomorrow. It's the greatest thing in the world. But many of you also want to focus on marketing. You have either put out some YouTube videos, you've put out some TikToks, you've put out some YouTube shorts, some Facebook posts. There is a ton of areas in there as well. But there's one thing that consistently holds you back, and it's actually not that you're doing anything wrong, but it's a two-part. Number one is consistency. Most of you think that you can just post one video and your stuff is going to go insanely viral. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just not the case. It takes hundreds of videos to go either viral or to be the next Mr. Beast or the next Logan Paul or the next Jake Paul, whomever you follow on YouTube, or heck, even Lawrence Systems. They have made hundreds, if not thousands of videos. And two things that keep them going is one, consistency. It is making that content over and over and over again. And the second part is doing enough of it. And this is the more controversial part that nobody talks about. And it is doing it enough times that you actually get to see success. See, the problem is most of you think I'm going to pick up the phone and make 10 phone calls, and there's going to be an eager person on the other side of this phone who's ready to give you money. When you make a cold call, let's just say out of 100 people, you might happen to get 2 or 3 of those 100 people that might be at a point where they could make a change. But for the vast majority of other people, that's just not the case. So you're going to get 97 rejections. But the problem is, most of you never even make it to 100 cold calls. That 100 cold calls, that rule of 100 is amazing. You're going to learn a ton in that process. You're also going to start to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and why the buyer persona, linked down in the description below, is critically important. So you target the same people over and over and over again. This will make you infinitely more successful than just about anything else. Because when you know who to target, and then you're not only consistent, but you're doing it enough, you're giving yourself the opportunity to succeed. There is no marketer on the planet that said, hey, I'm going to just run this one Facebook ad and it's done. They try hundreds, if not thousands of variations over the years to find the best possible result. Salespeople, you might have to go to 100 sales meetings. And I know that sounds like a lot, because it is. But if it was easy, everybody would end up doing it. When you do that law of 100, I would love to say the law of 1,000. That's really a good sample size. but I know that that's not realistic for everyone. 1,000 cold calls is a ton of phone calls. It might take you 1 to 2 weeks of steady 8 to 10 hours a day hitting the phone or using the platform that I like to recommend, which is called Kixie. Not an affiliate, but it just does an auto dial for you. It's that rule that consistently allows you to grow. And I want to tie this back into marketing for you. We've already covered cold calling. Cold emailing, you might need to 10x that number. You might need to send out 10,000 emails before you start to see results and tangible information that you could say, hey, I'm doing this right or this wrong, and following that path. But now let's go to the marketing side. Most people think 1 or 2 social media videos are going to be enough to build that business. It takes hundreds of videos. But the cool part about it is it begins to work for you 24/7, 365. And that alone is the reason why you want to do this. It's to consistently grow over and over and over again. And as you consistently build, it becomes harder and harder for people not to find you. And then, and only then, will the algorithm start to reward you and people will start reaching out to you. If you look back before I started making MSP videos, I made hundreds, and I kid you not, hundreds of videos about digital marketing, podcasting, and I just happen to have this idea of saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a couple videos for the MSP industry. I happen to have a lot of knowledge in that space, and they started to take off. So now I've made over 100 videos in the MSP space, and I'm not stopping because you guys keep watching and you guys give me the best comments out there, and I truly appreciate it. But that's what you have to do. It's not as simple as making a couple phone calls or taking this thing out and making a couple social media posts. I wish it was that simple. But if it was that simple, everyone would have a massively, massively thriving business. And as much as I want that to happen, it's just not reality. You have to go out, you have to put in the reps, and you have to see what works. Because after 100 of doing anything, and the real rule is about 20 hours of consistent work, 20 hours of recording content, 20 hours of editing content, 20 hours of uploading YouTube videos and designing thumbnails. All of those add in. When you do that over and over and over again, you'll start to see, oh, all of a sudden this video did really well, or that cold call went really, really good. Why did it go so well? Now you have tangible information that you might not have gotten if you did less than 20 or 30 or even 50 or 100 of them. And you could take that tangible information and do something with it. You can put that in place. You can have an actionable step that's going to take you from point A to point B, as opposed to A and maybe getting to point B. It's the long-term game that you're playing. Businesses are not built in a day. Amazon did not become a $1 trillion company overnight. All of the MSPs that we all look up to, and you know who they are, did not build this overnight. They have built it over the course of years, trying and testing over and over and over again to find out what works and what doesn't work. And in some cases, what works for you may not work for the next person. I get this question all the time. Well, what path should I go? You might stink at cold calls. Then go take this sucker out and make a ton of videos, or sit down and do a ton of podcasts, or sit down and write a ton of blog posts to take in traffic. You might realize that, hey, I'm the worst at cold calling. I'm going to go and just door knock because that is way more comfortable to me and something I enjoy than going and cold calling. Other people might hate making content, but might be the best at networking at their local chambers of commerce or professional business networking groups. This, over and over and over again, is what makes you successful. Going out and finding that chamber of commerce and showing up to not one, but dozens of meetings, because we all know people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And without that, without you doing it over and over again, they're never going to know you, they're never going to like you, and they're never going to trust you. So you have to put the reps in the beginning to get to where you want to go. And when you do all that, everything seems to fall in place. And one day you're going to wake up and say, I can't believe that worked. I can't believe I got a lead. I can't believe that somebody wants to do business with me, and I've never talked to them before. It is the coolest feeling in the world, but it's not going to, it could happen on video 1, but more than likely it might happen on video 10 or outreach 10, or cold call 10, or 20, or 55, or 73, or 81. You don't know, but you have to put those reps in. Do at least 100 of them, and you'll start to see what works, what doesn't work, what you like to do, and what you don't like to do. And then from there, you'll be infinitely more successful than the rest of your competition. I hope this video helps. I'm currently traveling right now. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, that little notification bell, especially if you want to get in that giveaway. I'm still trying to figure everything else out, but I promise you I will keep you posted on that one. On that, love you guys. I'll see you guys later.